Check this out. The BS just never ends.
And on this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back. But Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Here's what I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million that we have directly put towards survivors here for disaster help. And that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously again. We take this very seriously. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous. Because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them.
And right there, it's the same charade with these clowns that are currently occupying the White House. You ever notice that they never just answer the question? It's a very simple question. How come this money can be rammed through for all these distant lands, Lebanon, Ukraine, Israel? It doesn't matter. All of this money can billions upon billions, I believe it's 157 million for Lebanon, something like that. Excuse me if I'm a little off. But billions of dollars can go to these distant lands. But now you have Americans now that need assistance. And you got Alejandro Mayorkas, this guy right here, straight treason, what he's been able to do. Oh, we don't have any more money. We need to go back to Congress because our funds have been depleted. Mind you, the New York Post is talking about 1.4 billion have been spent on these migrants, these people that have illegally came into the country. So I guess that's just fake news, right? That's just propaganda, misinformation, right? Is this the same New York Post that said the Hunter Biden laptop was confirmed and it was real? And the FBI knew well in advance that it was real. And they censored them and all that. You can see how this all comes full circle. They never answer the question straight up. It's the same thing with Kamala. Actually, maybe even Joe, out of all them, might give you more of a straight answer than Karine by far, or Tim Walz. Same one. He's the same runaround thing. These people in North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, so on and so forth, Georgia, need assistance now. You got people coming up that are being interviewed or putting up videos on their own talking about they haven't seen anybody. So they're all liars, they're all MAGA far-right extremists. All these people that say they haven't seen a soul where their house is drifted like 4 miles down the river. They are not getting any assistance whatsoever. And what pisses people off is they get to see people, these illegals come across the border, right? Not only are they given cell phones, they're given a complete pathway. Go here, you can get food stamps for this. We're going to give you preloaded debit cards you can go spend on whatever, as well as we're going to give you housing assistance to get you inside of a house for you and your family, your auntie, your grandma, all of you just come pouring right in. We welcome everybody. So all of the, who do you think pays for that? Who do you think's paying for the cell phones? Who do you think's paying to put them up in all these luxury hotels while Americans and homeless are just out on the streets? That's the government. These are funds, DHS, that's being allocated to them. That's what's pissing people off. Why doesn't Kamala and the immortal Joe Biden, how come they don't come and say, listen, we're having FEMA, we're having massive amounts of buses, all these buses that they transport these people around. Why don't they have buses come and say, listen, we're going to put all these people up into hotels and we're going to help them with housing. We're going to put forth all this stuff. We're going to have some kind of, why don't you do a student loan forgiveness, but a rehousing development forgiveness where you can help them build their homes back? Why don't they do something like that? We're going to clear up the debris while all this stuff is happening. We're going to have them up in hotels with 3-course meals. That's what they're giving the illegals. Not only are they giving them 3-course meals, it's culture appropriate meals. So say I come from the Congo or whatever and I just like seafood and they try to give me a peanut butter and jelly. Get this out. I don't want this. Like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. What do you want, man? I want some shrimp. I eat lobster back home. All right, we're going to make that happen for you. Give us a couple minutes. That's what's going down. No joke.
Not a joke.
Why can't they do that with Americans, people that have lost everything? It's not just their house, it's their car, it's everything that was inside of the house, their jobs, their livelihood, family members, everything. But people come over illegally and they can get all of these handouts. And it just kept going with Peter Doocy. Thank goodness for him calling out Karine with her what's this ridiculous blazer she has on? That's like, you take a woman out on a date and it's raining and you take the blazer off and you put it on. That's exactly what it looks. What the hell is she wearing? But look at this.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to. People are deciding not to.
President sent a letter to Congress that there's not enough money to help people in North Carolina.
We're talking about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
And then it just goes in around and around. There's never a straight answer. What he's getting at once again, and he asked her even again, furthermore, I'm not going to bore you guys with the whole entire thing. Why can they allocate and get these funds instantly for distant lands, but not for North Carolina, Tennessee, so on and so forth? Oh, we have $200 million that was allocated. That we're not talking about what's already spent. He's saying, why can all of these, they just gave Ukraine $8 billion last week. Why can they just drum up this money out of nowhere, print it off whenever they need to for distant lands, but not for people, not for American citizens? They're never going to give you, you know what the answer is, which I would respect even more if she just came out and said, we put America last. That would be the honest to God truth. If she just came out and said, our sole focus is distant lands and getting these illegals in here because people are getting wise up to it and we need to replace these individuals because they're starting to think for themselves. So now let's dump these people in and we can have a couple more generations of people that just fall in line. That's why there's this revolving door in this gravy train. They're not giving these people all this stuff for nothing. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. That's exactly what's going on here. And people are wising up and they're waking up to it. These people are struggling, have nothing. And now they're saying, well, we're out of money. We don't have enough money. We need to go back to Congress. That is the question. Why do you need to go back to Congress for that, but not for Lebanon and Ukraine and Yemen and all these other places that I can't even spell, can't even find on a map? That's what we're talking about, and they give you the runaround, and they're talking about $750 for that initial, for the emergency. What is that getting you? Anybody that pays any kind of bills, right, or lives any kind of life, or anything like that, what is $750 getting you? Say you have a family of 4, you just lost everything. You're gonna go, you have to get some kind of clothes, you need some kind of food, you need something to keep you warm, maybe a tent, a sleeping bag. That's well over $750. That's not doing anything for you. Same thing with the individuals in Maui, where they just gave them $700 and they lost everything. It's the same runaround, and you never get a straight answer. But the real answer is, we just want to put America last. That's the truth. But at the end of the day, people aren't stupid. People can see who's for them and who isn't. And that's why North Carolina, they were trying to say it's neck and neck, which I never believed in the first place. You got like South Carolina and all that these huge numbers and all the surrounding areas and Tennessee and all that. But, North Carolina's neck and neck. No, at the end of the day, they can see now. Now it's like a 4-point swing going all in Trump's favors if you want to follow by the polls. Why aren't they down there now? Smokey Joey and her. Could you imagine them standing there and you have all these helicopters flying over with supplies and all these buses coming in and the military transporting families and taking them to safety and for somewhere for them to stay, and oh, we got this allocated for them. We're going to help rebuild the housing. We're doing all this stuff now. We don't need to go through Congress because we didn't need to go through Congress for Ukraine or whatsoever. Why aren't they doing that? That's what people want to see. Until that happens, people can see it. So they're going to call a spade, and that's what's happening right here. These people do not care about you whatsoever, but they're going to keep selling this pipe dream to you. Elect us and we're going to end slavery and reparate. All of these promises they never deliver on. That's like what Trump and J.D. Vance says. Why didn't you do this stuff 3.5 years ago? I'm going to get down gas prices. I'm going to get down Why haven't you done it? Simple as that. We're going to get this money. Why haven't you done it? Because they do not, and they only come around when they need your vote and then they're gone. But people are wising up and good for them. God bless all the individuals that are suffering and go. I couldn't imagine losing everything. And then you see these clowns running around. Oh, even Joe Biden said, man, everybody's happy. What are you talking about? It's just BS and gaslighting the American people, but it's going to blow up in their face, just like all the phony trials and everything they've been doing. All of this stuff is starting to backfire because people are seeing and they're getting hip to the game.